The ARRL field day is coming up this month, and in this video we're going to be discussing my loadout. Hello, my name is John W7DBO and this is the Field Radio channel. Thank you for clicking and tuning in. And in this video we're going to be talking about my loadout for the upcoming ARRL field day 2022. So we're a couple weeks away. It's time to start getting the gear organized and getting going. And so this video is going to cover my loadout. Now, there's certain philosophies of use and goals of operating and defining what backcountry operations is and how to become successful. So I'm going to link a video to that right here. So you can go watch that presentation that I did on just field operating in general, and it's a good backgrounder for my loadouts. Okay, so let's get to my loadout plan. So I've printed out a copy, but I do keep this on a digital form, and I'll share my loadout plan, which is a live doc. It's a Google Doc, and so it's going to be changing over the next couple weeks as I add and move stuff around. So I will share that with you, and so you can kind of follow along and see what my plan is. So radio station, ICOM 7300. So I'm going to have my 7300, so I know I need the tuner, control cables, speaker, headsets, power supply if I happen to go generator. And then I'm also going to have the ICOM 7200 that just sits in the Pelican case. That's my reasonable redundancy. That's my backup. We also use that because it's got the 2-meter rig in it. We use that as more of a general camp radio, and so it's going to be dual purpose. But during field day event, I'll be operating solely on the 7300 unless something goes wrong. So for my computer, I'm going to have actually two different types of computers. I have my Microsoft Surface that runs off USB power. So I have all those adapters. I have a ThinkPad, which runs off AC, but it also can run off 19 volt. So I'm going to have batteries to supplement that and the appropriate cables. I run a second monitor, especially when you're working digital modes. You can have the logging in one window. You can have FL Digi in the other window. So a second monitor is actually pretty valuable. And then external mouse and keyboard. I know typing on a keyboard, on a mouse is, on a laptop, it slows you down a little bit. So nothing wrong with grabbing the keyboard and mouse from home. You can type fast and you can work the mouse a lot faster. And then software, make sure all my ICOM drivers are set up, my N3 FJP software, logging software, FL Digi. I may mess with FT8, JS8 call, and then also time sync software because I will be off internet probably sometimes. And so I want to be able to have a GPS sync on the laptop time if I'm doing something like FT8. Okay, so for the antenna system, this is what I've decided to go for the antenna system. I'm going to have a buddy pole in a horizontal configuration, and that'll be try and be my more directional antenna to be able to point to the directions I want to get, the states I'm trying to work at the time. I'm going to have a chameleon fan dipole, which is a 2040 fan dipole. That is going to be my east-west configuration. And then I'm going to have a chameleon impasse long wire. That's just going to be like the backup to the backup. But I'm going to have it, pointed probably up in a tree going in the southwest or northwest direction. And then a chameleon Windom, only because I have it, I'm going to have a chameleon Windom 40 that's going to be configured in a north-south. And so maybe I can switch over to that and see if I can try and eke out contacts north and south of me. Okay, so for mass, I'm going to have the MassWorks 10 meter, and that is going to have that buddy pole horizontal at 32 feet. And then also the fan dipole is going to be elevated to the top of that, and that's going to give me my 32-foot height or my half wavelength on 20 meters. And then it's going to be in a inverted V. My Harbor Freight flagpole, it's going to carry my Starlink satellite at the top when I'm using that for around camp. And then also the Windom 40, that only elevates to 20 feet, but the Windom 40 is going to be on that. And then a tree, that's my last mast. I'm going to have the long wire up in the tree. So what do I need? So antenna mast deploy. I'm going to need my drone with the release clip. I'm going to need arbor's weight with rope to be able to get over the trees. I'm going to need guy ropes, stakes, elevated ground stakes. So when I'm running the ground wire on the radio, I can use those to kind of keep them off the ground like by 2 feet. I'm going to need rigging gear, mallet, and then of course safety cones and safety tape. Just so if visitors come into the campground, they're not driving over any of my lines. Antenna accessories. So I have coax chokes, possibly an MFJ switch to switch between two antennas on the same mast, and a nano VNA, and my MFJ antenna analyzer. Power generation. So I have a Honda 2000 watt generator. I got Goal Zero solar panels, and I also have Renergy solar panels that are on the truck that are built in that I'll be using. Power accessories, of course, electrical cables, power pole cables, plenty of those. Watt meters, power pole distribution, and then make sure I have all my adapters, my MC4 to power pole, my Goal Zero to power pole. Those are things I just can't get around the connection type. So, and then my solar charge controller is one, of course, for my Bio-NO. And I have a Lion Energy in the trailer, so I need a solar charge controller for that too. Okay, so batteries. I have a Bio-NO 40 amp hour. That's going to run the radio and the monitor. My Lion Energy, which is 105 amp hour, is basically my trailer battery, but it also can be tapped into as a radio backup. Goal Zero Yeti 1400, it's in our van, but that can also be pulled if needed throughout the night for a radio backup. I have some Sherpas that work great for USB or 19 volt power, so those are primarily going to run my laptop through the night and day. And then I have some Goal Zero Yetis, the 400 and the 150, just general use backup. And then also my truck deep cycle AGM, that pretty much just is a general campground battery. Okay, so for lighting, I'm going to be in the trailer, so I don't have to worry too much about lighting, but it's really good to have some type of laptop light, USB string lights from Goal Zero, or a lantern, because I may have children that are trying to sleep throughout the night in the trailer, and going to want to be able to not have all the lights on in the trailer all night. Accessories, so I'm going to have the ARRL band plan. I'm a general class license operator. I'm not going to have an extra up there during the event, so I just need to have that band plan just to make sure I don't sneak down into those extras. Even though on field day, every ham is an extra. My station will be a general station only, so I just need to have that band plan just to make sure I don't accidentally drift too far. And then an azimuth map, so with the declination included, so I'm going to know if I'm trying to eke out a state, and I can use my compass and I can tune that antenna and turn it the direction that I want to get that worked all states. Notepad paper. I'm going to have some ARRL printed information. Whenever I'm camping, I put up these big antennas. People certainly stop by and talk, and so I can just have some type of brochure or something that I can hand out. And then, of course, I always go nowhere without my HT Go kit, my EMT bag, and also my Stop the Bleed kit. Okay, so for outdoor operating, I'm going to be indoor, but if it gets warm in the evening and then in the morning, for Utah, it's noon to noon, local time. So if I decide to move the operation outdoors to get some fresh air, of course, I'll need table, chairs, and sunshade. And then some personal items. I'm going to be camping all week, so I'm going to have all this naturally, but if you're thinking about just going up for the event, hat, sunglasses, work gloves. Putting up those lines is terrible on hands. Sunscreen, bug spray, and favorite drinks or snacks. So there's my loadout. That's a very high level, fast run through. Like I said, we can link it down. I'll link it down below. You can kind of watch as I go through and start loading things and organizing and compartmentalizing. I'll start checking them off. I typically, when I have a list like this, I have yellow. I'll highlight it yellow, which means I have no idea about that item or I need to locate it. If it's packaged, it's just not loaded in the vehicle, I put it to green. I highlight it green, and then when it's actually loaded in the vehicle, I move it to orange. So that's just how I kind of highlight my list as I slowly start packing. So I hope you found this helpful. We're going to be doing some more videos specifically on antenna setup and software configuration, stuff like that. So I hope you subscribe and stay tuned for more field day videos coming up. With that, my name is John, W7DBO with the Field Radio channel. Thank you for watching, and get your gear organized, and let's get out on the air.